Hi friends, I'm rounding out my week here at the Dawes Arboretum in front of an apple tree that was planted in honor of Johnny Appleseed, whose given name was Jonathan Chapman. This tree was planted on September 26, 1982 by the Johnny Appleseed Foundation and members of the Chapman family. By the way, this tree came from tissue cultured from an apple tree in Granville. Jonathan Chapman was an eccentric American pioneer and a nurseryman who introduced apples to large parts of Ohio. During his lifetime, which was 1774 to 1845, he became an American legend because of his journeys across Ohio and other areas as a missionary for the Swedenborgian Church. Now, in case you are wondering, the Swedenborgian Church is a Christian denomination that leans on the teachings of Emanuel Swedenborg to interpret and understand the Bible. It was Johnny Appleseed's drive to share his faith that pushed him into the wilderness of Ohio. He used apples, apple trees, and orchards as a means to spread his message, as well as an illustration of how faith, even as small as an apple seed, would in time produce much fruit. Apple trees were perfect because they were easy to grow, and their fruit could be used in so many different ways, and they could be preserved for much of the winter when the food supply ran low. Johnny Appleseed's first nursery orchard was along the banks of the Licking Creek, right here in Licking County. This became his base nursery, and in the coming years, he would return here to gather additional seeds. Johnny Appleseed was quirky, but a welcome visitor across the Ohio frontier. He didn't keep a daily journal, but from journals that other people wrote about his visits, we learned that he seemed to never wear shoes except in the wintertime. He wore a hat that was made out of pasteboard with one side having a large brim to protect his face from the sun. He often was invited to spend the night with families, and one of his common traits at that invitation was to enter the cabin, to stretch out across the floor with his head pointed toward the doorway and his knapsack under his head like a pillow. And after getting himself all arranged, he would then announce in a strong voice, "Will you have some fresh news right from heaven?" And then he would begin to recite passages from the New Testament. One of the things I appreciate about Johnny Appleseed is that he honored the interconnectedness between the physical and the spiritual. It wasn't enough just to provide apples for the physical body. Neither was it enough just to provide the Bible for feeding the spirit. But providing for the two together opened the door for making a powerful impact on the people and the communities that he touched. Now that, of course, follows the example of Jesus. Jesus fed people, he healed people, he taught them how to relate to each other, and he showed them God. He cared for the whole person, body, mind, spirit, and relationships. And one example that comes immediately to my mind is in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 6, when a large crowd, 5,000 men plus women and children, gathered to hear Jesus speak. He taught them about God's love and compassion like a shepherd provides for his flock. And when the day grew late, Jesus showed them God's love and compassion by providing enough food for everyone to eat their fill, somehow, miraculously, from just 5 loaves and 2 fish. So the next time you bite into an apple, or eat apple pie, or apple crisp, or apple dumplings, or apple fritters, remember the importance of feeding your spirit and your relationships, as well as your body. Thanks for listening. I'll see you again soon.